Welcome to another episode of the Top Rope Take. I'm Ryan Arnold, and this is Turnbuckle Talk. In this video, we will have WrestleMania 42 predictions. It's finally here. We're a week out. We got the go-home shows coming up this week, so let's get right into it. All right, so let's start with the Usos and LA Knight versus Division and IShowSpeed. Unfortunately, this is one of those matches I honestly just don't care about. The titles aren't on the line. There's nothing really big coming out of this match. I do see them letting the Vision win and IShowSpeed just because it's IShowSpeed. But I've also heard rumors that Speed's going to turn on Paul and cost him the match. But I would think it would be in the best interest of the company, since this match isn't really a big deal and doesn't mean anything, that you'd have the tag champs go ahead and take that victory. So I'm going to go with Division and IShowSpeed. Next, we've got the unsanctioned match with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. I think this is going to be a banger of a match. I think these two are going to rip each other apart. And obviously, because Drew McIntyre is taken off to film the Highlander movie, I'm going to say that Jacob Fatu takes the win. Okay, next we've got the Women's Tag Team Champion. I'm going to call it a turmoil match, but you've got the Irresistible Forces versus Alexa and Charlotte versus Bayley and Lyra versus the Bellas, maybe. That's if they figure out what's going to happen with Nikki Bella. If Nikki doesn't pull through, I see them kind of inserting the Kabuki Warriors into this thing. Man, this is a tough one for me. If I'm going to go with my gut, I'm probably going to say that the Irresistible Forces are going to keep the titles. I think the biggest pop would be Alexa and Charlotte to take them back. I don't want to see Bayley and Lyra with the tag titles. And, they just all of a sudden drop that story with Bayley and her multiple personalities. Maybe that'll come into effect this match and cost their team the win. But I'm going to stick with the Irresistible Forces, unfortunately. I don't like that pick, but I'm going to say that's who's going to take that W. Next, we've got Seth freaking Rollins versus Gunther. We're doing a lot of thinking on this match, but I think how it's going to play out. We're going to have some interference from Braun Breaker, because at this time, I don't think that Seth or Gunther can really afford a loss as far as their character build. Seth's come a long way. He's on his way up. Gunther's got that, retirement gig where he retires everybody. I don't think either one of them right now could afford to take a loss. So I see Braun Breaker interfering in the match. Maybe it ends by DQ, or maybe he costs Seth the match and Gunther takes a W, but that way it protects both of them either way. But I'm going to say that Gunther's going to take the W here. All right, next we've got AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This is a tough one. I'm a big fan of AJ Lee, and I'm a big fan of Becky Lynch. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Becky's going to take the W, but I think that she's going to have some help. I think that JC Jane is finally going to get her call up. I don't know if it's going to be with the whole group or just her, but I think it would be awesome. I'm probably fantasy booking here, but I think it'd be awesome for them to align themselves with each other and help Becky get that win and start a little faction here. But I'm going to go with Becky taking the W either way. All right, then we're going to have Stephanie Vauquer versus Liv Morgan. This one's a tough one. I do not want to see the Judgment Day interfere and cost Liv this match. I know there's a lot of rumblings of Roxanne Perez possibly turning on Liv, or her and Raquel. I just don't. I love Vauquer. I just haven't cared for this title run, the way they've booked it and the way she's been doing it. Again, love her as a competitor. I just think that Liv's going to take the W here, hopefully. But I do see some type of interference in this match. And then the main event for night one will be Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the belt. Man, there is so much speculation around this match. I do think that maybe Jelly Roll comes out and takes out McAfee and makes this a clean match. I'd like to see that happen. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the way it's going to play out. I do think there's going to be some interference. I don't see a DiBiase Jr. coming in. I don't see any of that. I don't know, man. I've heard a lot of rumblings about The Rock. I've heard DiBiase. I've heard a lot of rumblings, but I'm just going to go ahead and not get into all of that junk. I'm just going to say that Randy Orton's going to take the W and new. All right, night 2. We're going to start off, which I think is going to open. It's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Now, I know this is ESPN. I know the MMA transition. They're all about Brock Lesnar, and I've heard rumors and read some stuff about Brock possibly taking the W in this match. If he's leaving in 5-6 months, SummerSlam's his closeout match, and let's say that Gunther does retire him and he's out, let's start putting these new talent over. I just can't see him winning, so I'm going to go with Oba for the W. Again, this is the most hyped match, in my opinion, of WrestleMania and the best built match of WrestleMania, so I cannot wait to see this match. But yeah, Oba. Then we've got the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship with JD McDonough, Penta, Javon Evans, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee. This match is 1000% going to be a banger. I think that this is going to be a match to rival one of the top ladder matches in the WWE. Especially when you've got a Hall of Famer in Rey Mysterio and Javon Evans. You just got so many high flyers and so many things that can be done here. It's a tough decision. I think Penta's going to take the W. As much as I would like to see Javon Evans take this win, Penta's still fresh with the title, and I just see them leaving it on him. So I'm going to say it's Penta for the W. Next, we got the match with Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Again, I think this is going to be a really good match. If Lil Yachty comes out there, which we can all assume he is, I think he's going to cause some type of interference. I'd like to fantasy book Kevin Owens returning and helping Sammy win and retain. I just don't know. If I have to go with my gut, either Sammy's going to turn heel officially and he's going to win this match, or Trick's going to take the W. I'm so up in the air with this match right now. I'm going to say Trick Williams is going to take the W, which is going to set up a him and Carmelo Hayes match later on. The next one, in my opinion, is kind of a given. We've got Dominic Mysterio versus Demon Finn Balor. Huge fan of Dom, would love to see him win, but it's a Demon Finn Balor, and they don't just bring him out of retirement for nothing. So Demon Finn's going to take the W. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. Okay, now we've got Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. I've been pretty vocal about this, about Jade not having a lot of title defenses and her reign being stale, and I want Rhea to win. I do. I'm telling you right now that I want Rhea to win. But realistically, if I'm playing storylines out, I think after this match is done, we have a return from Bianca Belair. Man, I just I want Rhea to take the W so bad. I'm going to have to go with Jade Cargill for the W, just because I would love to see the Bianca and Jade thing finally come to a head. If Naomi wasn't, with doing baby stuff right now, I would say she was going to cost Jade the match, but I'm going to have to go, as much as it hurts, to say Jade takes the W, and hopefully they elevate her as a champion and give this feud with Bianca something. Could be dead wrong and Rhea could win, which would be awesome, but we're going to see. This is going to be an interesting one for sure to see which way they go. So obviously we're going to have Danhausen on this show. We'd be dumb if we didn't, and John Cena is hosting. I don't see John Cena having any kind of involvement in any matches. I just don't see him, with him being officially retired and not doing a whole lot of WWE stuff, I just don't see him getting involved heavily in anything. Maybe like an AA somewhere to somebody, but I don't think it's going to be match related. I do definitely see some interaction with Danhausen and John Cena. Maybe he goes to curse Cena, but he can't see Cena, so the curse doesn't work. I don't know, something funny, but expect to see Danhausen and John Cena have some type of interaction on this show. If not, shame WWE. Shame. And the last match for night 2 is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the belt. This feud in the very beginning was great. Then it kind of fell off, in my opinion, and was kind of stale. And then CM Punk just brought it back up. I know this last week, the go-home shows, I'm sure we're going to see some incredible things happen. I'm going to go with my gut and who I want. So I'm going to say that Roman Reigns takes a W. If you watch the top rope take in some of our videos and some of our TikTok shorts, I think there's going to be some type of interference. I think we're going to have a bloodline reunion, possibly, to help Roman win. And I'd love to see CM Punk come out to This Fire Burns. I'm just going to put that out there. I think that would be incredible for this. But I see Roman taking the W with some help. Now, whether that's Tama Tonga or the Usos or The Rock or whoever it is, Roman Reigns is going to take the W and the Tribal Chief will reign once again. But let me throw this scenario out to you. I know we didn't get Rock Roman like we all wanted. Let's say that Rock doesn't help Roman win, but Roman wins. Puts on the Ulafala, Rock comes out, maybe takes the Ulafala from him, or they stare face to face to end the show or something that kind of builds maybe Roman Rock at SummerSlam or maybe next year. I don't know. But again, Roman's going to take the W. And if you keep up with AAA, you see that El Grande Americano Original and El Grande Americano are going to have a mask v mask match. Finally, it's coming to a head at WrestleMania. Don't care where it is on the card or where they do it, if it's in the pre-show or whatever they do. This is a must. We need this. And of course, I'm going with Original Grande Americano, even though I do think that Kaiser version is doing a lot better of a job. I just think the Original's got to take the W. Another thing with this Orton match, if you've been paying attention to the background, like I'm sure a lot of you have, Aleister Black has been in almost all of the background segments with Cody and Orton and Jelly Roll and all them. He's always in the background lurking. We know that Aleister has a history with Randy Orton. Do you think he interferes and costs one of them the match? If so, who and why? What do you guys think? Who do you have? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Put your comments down below. Like, share. Head over to YouTube if you're on TikTok, or head over to TikTok if you're on YouTube. Subscribe to us. We're still having that 100 subscriber giveaway. Once we hit that number, we'll be giving away autographed gear, a title belt autographed, or some trading cards. We got a lot of stuff here. So if you're on that top rope take with us, go ahead and frog splash off, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the Monday Night Raw review.